Hello, and welcome to the Fast Forward Amy Show, the show where we talk about how you can lift your life and business with simple strategies. I'm Fast Forward Amy, your host and coach, and I'll bring you a new episode every Tuesday. If you've been wondering about how you can start your online business, it is your lucky day because today I'm going to bring you all of the juicy, really good online business stuff. We're going to be talking about what to make your first offer about and what not to make it about, which format it should be. Should it be an ebook, a video course, how to determine which content you should be putting in there, and how to sell and deliver it to your clients practically. And I'm also going to be sharing the KISS principle that I apply to each and every single one of my products. I'm going to teach you that, but in order to figure out what that is, you gotta listen until the end. And my guess is if you're here for this episode, you're actually really interested in building your online business, so I have something for you. I'm going to be hosting a Design Your Online Business webinar, and I want to invite you for it. It's a webinar worth €200, and you can join fully for free, and you can drink coffee or wine with me live, and you can come and join through fastforwardamy.com/designobw. So that's Design Online Business Webinar, but OBW. In the webinar, we're going to be talking about what your income stack could look like in your online business, like your product suite, which products you could be offering, and what you can price your products. It's really valuable. I hope you'll join me there. If you like this episode, you're definitely going to be liking the webinar, so I'll say it again at the end, but know that the link is in the description and you can just go and sign up. The spots are limited, so sign up quickly, okay? They say that the average millionaire has 7 different income streams. Right. That seems daunting, but it also means that you got to start somewhere. So today we're going to start somewhere. And we're going to start by not letting our ego run our business. So I'm going to be doing this in a little bit of a coaching style, and I hope you'll join me in this. I don't know what you're doing right now. Maybe you're running or doing the dishes or whatever, but I hope you can grab a piece of paper. You can put that on the table and grab a pen as well. I'm sitting here in my studio with a pen and paper, and we want to be setting up a smart offer to start out with for your online business, right? So what I want you to do is grab that piece of paper and draw 3 circles on it. Now you want to draw the circles in kind of like a triangle, but you want them to overlap in the middle, but also not overlap on the outer sides. I'm showing it to you in video, but if you're listening to me, so 3 circles on a piece of paper, and make sure that they are like drawn in a triangle, and in the middle they're overlapping. Now in the top circle, I want you to write down what are you good at and what do you love. And I'm going to be doing this exercise with you. So what are you good at and what do you love? For me, I can think of, for example, mindset, fairly good at that. I'm good at sales. I am good at Instagram marketing. What else am I good at? Fairly good at finances. Time management, sometimes. I have so many topics that I love. I love teaching. I'm good at them, and I'm writing all of them in that top circle. So also systems and money. Yeah, it seems that over the years I've learned some skills. Now you pause me and you write down what are you good at and what do you love, all in that circle, just like keywords, okay? Now you have paused me, or you haven't. You're naughty. You'll do it later. And now on the circle on the right, you're going to write, what do people want and need? So what does your audience want and or need? So for me, what do my clients want? They want money. They want to get their time back. They want more sales. They need a good mindset. Notice that I've said want versus need differently. No one really wants sales skills. They want to get sales. They don't want to be focusing on the sales skills that they need to get there. People want money, but they need mindset advice. So wants and needs just all in that circle on the right. Again, pause me, write down what people want and need, people in your audience, your ideal clients. And then we continue. And then we have 1 circle left, the 3rd circle on the left. And we're gonna write down what do people want to actually pay for. Now, why am I saying this? Because I know from experience, people really want my free mindset stuff, but they won't really pay for it quickly. They really need it though. So in my courses, I will infuse a lot of my content with mindset stuff, but you don't see me actively promoting a lot of mindset courses. I'll rather promote a sales course, and in that sales course in module 0, we'll go into the mindset behind the sale, but I won't be promoting it as a mindset course. So for me, what do people want to pay for? Well, people will pay for finance stuff, for templates, for example. They'll pay for sales skills, sales, anything to do with sales skills they'll pay for, like a script. They want the easy stuff, like what should I say in a sales conversation, stuff like that. So at the top, we have what are you good at and what do you love? On the right, we have money, sales, mindset, and time. For me, that was what do people want and need. And on the left, we have what do people want to pay for? And what I want to just point out is for you, maybe people do want to pay for a mindset product. For me, they'll pay for it and I can actually promote a mindset product. I'm actually planning on promoting a money mindset product soon, but it's not the go-to thing. For example, for me, I'm really good at systems. People need systems, but they don't want systems and they don't want to pay for advice on the systems. People need templates. They want templates to make their life easier and get their time back. And they will also pay for a template because it's visually appealing, so they'll pay for it. So what I want you to do now, when you have what are you good at and what do you love, then on the right, what do people want and need, and on the left, what do people want to pay for, I want you to find the thing that is, that you can find in all of the 3 circles. So for me, that means I saw time management, time, and templates. So for me, I could start selling as a digital product a time management template that you can use, for example, to, track your time. That could be something that definitely will do well. Obviously, you need to know your audience a little bit for this, but yeah, you can also get better at trial and error. The reason I like to do this exercise is because often people will come to me like, hey, Amy, my offer isn't converting, yet I'm going through all of the steps in marketing. First up, you're probably not going through all of the steps in your marketing, but also, is the offer actually correct? Like, is it actually something people want, need, and want to pay for? That's something you need to check out before you start offering something. So you can use this as a brainstorm to then talk to people and do a poll, for example, in your Instagram stories, or talk to your existing clients and ask if they would be interested in this new product you want to be making. You don't want to spend tons of resources, time, money on creating the perfect product that you created from your ego, only to then figure out that people actually don't want it. They might need it, but that doesn't mean they're going to pay for it. Okay? Cool. Now you know this. Let's craft your offer. For me, for the sake of this, I'm going to circle all of the things about sales because that came back in all 3 of those circles, right? That was like the thing in the middle that connected it all. If you want to be making your first digital offer, I would say that the easiest way to do this as a service-based business is by first looking at something. Have you coached people one-on-one, for example? So if you've been working with people one-on-one, you kind of have a fairly good idea of what they struggle with in the beginning and how you proceed your coaching with them. And after a while, if you've coached a lot of people one-on-one, it gets easier to coach people in a group. When you've coached a group through a few things, then it gets easier to create actually a standalone course offer. I see a lot of people in the online space wanting to make their online offer like just a course, but they have no clue what people have as frequently asked questions, what people bump into. So maybe if you're feeling insecure about that, just start out by actually coaching people one-on-one and then coaching a group through it and running like a live program with live modules. And afterwards, you can create a course. For me, for example, I first did business coaching one-on-one. And then I hosted workshops, then I hosted a group program that was a mastermind. And after a while, I turned a big chunk of that into a standalone course with coaching sprinkled on top, which is my Business Freedom Elevator, which is like a hybrid program where you both have modules as well as coaching, because I still feel like that is the best way to go about it. But some people need the modules more, some people need the how-to and the roadmap, and others need the mindset advice more. But you won't see me pitching a pure mindset program soon, but every single one of my programs has mindset in it because I know from experience from the one-on-one coaching and from running the group programs that mindset is an issue, and I can give them all the tools they need. If the mindset isn't solid, they won't book any success. So now we know what we're going to be making it about. You picked the thing that was there in all 3 of the circles. you know that you might need some more experience before you create your course, let's look at the 3 things you need to know. We need to look at your format, your content, and your delivery. And what I mean by that is the format is, is it going to be a digital video course? Is it going to be like modules, video modules with text or with assignments? Or is it going to be an ebook? Or is it going to be an email course that you sign up for? What are you making? So first decide on that. And ideally, obviously, you wouldn't just be like, I am making a video course without having any clue what you're talking about. That's why we started with the circles, right? That will determine how you can actually format your course. So what I would suggest when it's your first offer, I really like live programs where you, for example, you create a pop-up Facebook group and you're like, oh, you can join my program. It's a live week-long course, and every day you go live in a group and you walk people through a module, and then afterwards you can re-record those modules and create your standalone online offer, which is actually a course. That's what I did actually with my online business boss course, which is available, by the way, on my website. We created our online business boss course. First, I did it live, just a week long, and I was like recording it live, and then I re-recorded all of the different modules for my clients. You could also say like, oh, I will have people pay for emails and just have an email sequence sent out to them. Or you could put it in just a simple ebook. Whatever it may be, make sure that it is just the best way to get this message across, but also pay attention to the perceived value of your format. If it's an ebook and it's really like a PDF that people will download on their computer, it's gonna be hard to make it expensive. You can have like the recipe for eternal youth. If you put it in an ebook, it's gonna seem less valuable than if you put it in a video course. So adding video to your format will always increase the perceived value of what you're offering. Now, don't let that keep you from creating that first offer if video feels like a step too far, okay? So pick your format. I would suggest videos. Yeah, you can do an ebook for the first time, but I guess something that is like 4 modules of half an hour each, 4 videos, 2-hour long course would work totally fine, right? But it might seem too daunting, so just make sure you have something that you can do. I don't want you to postpone this forever and ever. Now we have the format, we need to look at our content. And the content is where people, like I start smiling when I say this, because I know this always happens, and this used to happen to me. When you want to create the content for your online course, people are like, Amy, how do I go about creating the content for my online course? Well, let me tell you, there is a really, really important hack that I learned from studying IT-related courses, is that when you are creating your first online course or offer, you need to look at the happy flow for your clients. So let's say you are a coach and your clients have weekly appointments with you, and you usually have like 6 appointments with them or 10 appointments, right? You know that in your first consult, you'll be probably walking them through basic principles. Maybe in a second consult, you'll be working through a mindset principle. Maybe in the third consult, it's about branding. I don't know what kind of example we're positioning here, but it could be that, right? With clients, you have a standard way that you will walk them through. And sometimes your client will be like, oh, but for example, as a fitness coach, at a certain point, you'll have a standard program. And at a certain point, you'll have someone who's like, oh, well, I can't do that exercise because my shoulder hurts. And what happens when people start creating an online offer is they get so tripped up by the fact that they might have clients who've followed fitness coaching from them who will follow the online offer, and they're like, oh, but they already know that, so I should create a different level. Or what if my client is pregnant? Then I should create different variations for pregnant people. And they'll start looking at all of the exceptions, which distracts them from the happy flow. The happy flow for your online product is that I want you to focus on the happy flow your clients will go through. Your ideal client, your new ideal client, what is their happy flow? Which steps would they go through if you would be having consults with them or running them through a one-on-one program? Now you have that. That is the content for your online program. The exceptions, figure out how to solve that afterwards. But if you're going to start out with all of the exceptions and the problems, you're never going to be able to create the actual happy flow of your product. So first we had our format, and secondly, we have our content. Structure it like you would structure it with actual clients, because guess what? The people going through your course are actual real life clients. And third but not least, we have our delivery. And the delivery, what I mean by that is everything that happens from the moment people hit pay to the moment they actually get access to their course. And there are a lot of different things that you can do there. You can set up a Shopify website so people can just check out and then they'll get an email with the download ebook popping up in their email inbox. It could be that you have people pay, for example, through Teachable. By the way, all of the systems I use, I've created a systems Bible. And let me think, I'll link it in the article of this episode. And I think it's fastforwardamy.com/systems is how you can find all of the systems. But what I wanted to say is that you can have people pay through a platform like Teachable, for example, where you pay and you get to access your course immediately. You can also have them pay and manually enroll them in something. There are so many options out there. When I first started out, none of these options existed and I had to do everything manually. I've talked about that in episode 79. The way I started out, definitely go and listen. It's a little bit embarrassing, but good. I started out with my first digital product in 2016, so that's 5 years ago now. But when you're doing it, whichever way you are having people pay and you're delivering your product, be it in emails or a video course or live coaching or whatever, make it really simple. And that is the KISS principle that I wanted to talk to you about. Keep it stupid simple is so relevant both in sales as well as in coaching and in getting people to actually attend and watch your product. So keep it stupid simple and make sure that whatever you're doing, the flow is really easy. It totally blows my mind how many people create their first online product and then never go through the flow. Pay for your own product. See, does this make sense? Have a friend pay for your product and test the entire flow. The same goes for free offers like lead magnets, webinars. Test it out. Does it work? Are the links clear? Do you know where to go? Is the next step clear? Is something you always want to ask to make sure that your clients are happy. So is the next step clear? Am I managing their expectations? Do they know where to get all of the information? I can't give you the perfect blueprint for that because we're always tweaking that too, and we're learning from every round we launch a program. Like, for example, we have our online course, which is one of our few standalone courses, our online business boss course, and it works in Teachable, but you sign up through our shop, then you get a link within 15 minutes. But sometimes it ends up in spam, so we need to make sure that people know, like, hey, your login info might end up in your spam. So we try to say that before they check out or have a pop-up saying that, right? Okay, so before we recap, my guess is if you're here, you are really interested in building your own online business. And looky, I am hosting a designer online business webinar and it's worth 200 euros, but you can join fully for free because you are a valued podcast listener. So if you go to fastforwardamy.com/designobw, I'm going to teach you all of the things I wish I had known when I first started out, namely how to build your income stack for your online business, what products you can input in your online business, and also what to price them, even with my custom-made mind map that you can't find anywhere else. And I'm teaching all of that to you for free. So definitely register for the webinar. The spots are limited, so make sure you are there. You do not want to miss out, and there are no replays. So go to fastforwardamy.com/designobw. And as we recap, know that we always have a written article of the episode. I don't fully write it myself. Our copywriter helps me write it, but you can go and grab it through fastforwardamy.com/81, and there you can see all of the steps we went through, including a visual of the circles that we were talking about. So what we did today is we started out with saying the average millionaire has 7 different income streams, so that means we need to get going if we want to become a millionaire, right? We started out with the 3 circles exercise to look at what are you good at and what do you love, what do people want and need, and what will people actually pay for, because sometimes that's a surprise. And then we looked at the format, the content, and the delivery of your first online offer. Whatever you do, make sure you keep it stupid simple, and talk to you next week. Hope to see you in the webinar, by the way. And have a happy day. I'm Fast Forward Amy, and I hope you will come and tag me on Instagram if you like this episode.